Back to the sixth major. We're here and we're getting through the day, aren't we, Maddie? It has been a long day of matches so far. We've seen some absolute bangers, but it's the first time XSET take to the stage. Your favourites from North America going up against Rogue, who've already had a chef's kiss match at the start of today.
Rogue gave us an absolute showing on Bank. They taught us textbook how to play Bank perfectly, how to show us great teamwork, how to be fluent. It was just such an incredible match to start off the day. But now they go up against XSET, who we haven't seen yet. An element of the unknown might be something that Rogue need to throw them off.
I mean, XSET are absolutely a bit of an unknown. These two teams have never versed each other before. In fact, XSET have never played any of the teams in their group. In fact, XSET as a team in its current form has kind of only been around for about 6 months. You cast your mind back, and in 2021, within the NAL, the XSET name was associated with being at the bottom of the standings. They had a really rough year in the NAL. They had to play through relegations, and then bada bim, bada boom, they go and they do this crazy Brazilian experiment. You got 3 Brazilians on the team, you got the Brazilian coach, you got a Canadian and American to round it off, and then bang. Top 8 at the major in Charlotte. Bang, back here for the next major. It's been a pretty wild ride. Exciting time to be an XSET fan.
Absolutely. They seem to be on the ball at the moment. Their form continues to improve as the year goes on. And now this current iteration of the XSET roster, where they're moving between IGLs, figuring out the ins and outs of the leadership, just seems to flourish so well in the NAL. Will it flourish here in Berlin? I don't know, but I can't wait to see if it does.
Well, a fun little fact that I've got for you about XSET, because I'm just full of fun facts. I love them so much. XSET, they have made their debut at a major in Charlotte, but they actually only played against other American or other North American, Latin American, or APAC teams. They are yet to play a European team ever. So this is a first for XSET, and they are going to go against Rogue, which we've seen, while they might not be the first seed out of Europe, they are looking so good right now.
They are looking absolutely amazing. I wonder how the NA playstyle is going to fit against the EU playstyle, especially with the lack of experience that XSET have against this region so far. Of course, coming to Berlin, I can only imagine that they've gotten a few cheeky scrims in with some of the players in this region. But I just can't wait to get in the server, have them show us what they can do against Rogue, and really pair up and match those two different regions' playstyles and philosophies against each other.
Well, we've already seen Rogue play Bank, and, well, they blew us away on it. Let's see what these teams have cooked up for the map veto for this match. XSET going in with a lot of expectations on their shoulders. They made it to playoffs last time. Can they do it again? So let's have a look. And it's XSET with the first ban. They're going to go to Sky. Well, they're going to ban out Skyscraper and Bibbidi Boom. Yeah, there's too many to list off. At the end, look at that from Rogue. Ooh. A Bank ban. After destroying Damwon earlier today, they actually would rather go to Oregon.
Well, something interesting that we figured out, Dev, is that XSET have actually played Oregon quite a lot throughout the NA League. They've played it 3 or 4 times going through the NA League, and I can only imagine that Rogue, as prepared as they are, have looked at those ones and gone, okay, that's something that we can handle. We maybe be able to handle that better than our dominant Bank. That is a big call to make from Rogue, but maybe a stroke of genius.
Could be a stroke of genius. It's a bit of a gamble, though. Like, Rogue are taking XSET to a map that we know XSET are good at. If you look back at Stage 1, XSET demolished the Sonics 7-0 on this map in the NAL, a shellacking. And now Rogue opting not to go to Bank, which is clearly familiar territory for them, going to Oregon instead. Is it the right kind of gamble to make? I'm not so sure.
I actually am going to be an advocate for Rogue in this one. I think that Rogue, they haven't shown us Oregon in a very long time. They only played it once throughout the EUL, and so for XSET to come into this game, they're going, we don't really have a great idea on what Rogue's Oregon look like. And from that last matchup, we know Rogue have done their prep. They watched Damwon Kia to a T. They counted absolutely everything they can do, and I can only imagine that's why they're taking XSET to this as well. Big
guts from the European team. Let's see if the prep pays off, though. Let's jump into the survey. It's time to kick off this match between two esteemed teams, XSET versus Rogue. We're going to Oregon, and it should be a barn burner. Both these teams have come in with high expectations for the tournament, and by the time we actually get into the lobby, I have no doubt that they will be showing everything that they've got. XSET, we've seen them do so well before, but is it a bit of hype? Is there validity to it? We've never seen them play an EU team. Is this a proving grounds for them? To me, I kind of feel like it is.
I think it is as well. They are riled up. We are ready to go as well, going into the lobby. And I think XSET, they just want to go and have a good showing, play a map that they're comfortable on, and show us that we let it in for a reason to Rogue. We're going to let that slip through. Even though we have our VODs, we're confident.
All right, well, let's get started. Let's kick off this game. It's XSET versus Rogue. We're going to Oregon. And let's see what you guys thought. Ooh, it's quite heavily Rogue favored there, Mandy. Only 36% gone to XSET.
Well, I can only imagine that is off the back of the showing that Rogue has just had on the bank. So dominant from them. And now to take it to XSET, bit of unknown territory. But of course, they've instilled so much confidence in all of our viewers at home.
Big times. I'm really keen to see what XSET have to offer because I'll be the first to admit, I don't know a lot about XSET. To me, they're quite a dark horse. They might have made a name for themselves within NAL. They made a name for themselves at the Charlotte Major. But this strange Brazilian experiment feels a bit unproven to me. Like I want to be proven wrong. I want to see them come out, the gate swinging. But it's been a mixed bag for both Europe and North America today. So time to get in on it.
The first band to go will be being followed on by Finko, which makes complete sense after the showing that Spoit had on the entry playing this deadly fatal operator. What that does mean, though, is that there's many opportunities for the attack to get in. Thatcher is still up, so is there a point in protecting your hatches? Hibana is still up. All of your hard breach is still up as well. Smoke to be banned out as the next one as well. This is such a strange ban. I mean, obviously the smoke going out directly for Kino, right? The smoke one trick of the century. But does Kino really need that smoke?
Yeah, this is a really unusual ban from Rogue. Credit to them. So Finka and Smoke banned out by Rogue does leave us with a bit of question marks for XSET.
Well, what that does mean is that Kino, like I said, the smoke one trick of the entire world, if you ask me. He is known for his incredible SMG-11 player, but you know what? He's got a full arsenal of anchors up his sleeve that he can just change into anyway. So for the defense, they're still feeling pretty comfortable, even without that side construction. And on the attack, though, it makes me feel very curious as to whether Rogue are going to take advantage of this because they have so many tools in their arsenal now.
But some of the real big hitters have been taken out, right? Like Finka, you talked about how good Spoit has been on it. It was, funnily enough, Rogue that banned the Finka against Spoit. He'll just flex onto another LMG, I guess. And the Ying as well, which was XSET's choice of ban. You've still got a lot of tools in your arsenal, particularly the Thatcher, but it really just comes down to how do XSET decide to hold this and what a Rogue deem is the best tools for the job. For me,
10 seconds left.
Mira on Oregon on this base bomb site, such a potent tool. XSET having that for Kino, this is going to be really tough. I want to know what Rogue are going to try and do to counter it.
Well, we can see XSET looking for a extended road out to the top floor. Mute jammers are being dedicated while the rest of the XSET players push themselves around the map, holding on to these entry spots and not giving Rogue anything away for free. Yoga will be the first point of contest here in Small Tower as the rest of Rogue try and shape up around the side of the building. A few pot shots go into the shower hallway, but nothing connects.
An early roam, but it's just a tease, it seems, from XSET, trying to delay some time and some drones, of which 4 have already been taken down. Look at that in the top right hand. Rogue, only 6 drones remaining. And especially considering when finally Rogue actually go to execute on the site. You've got Warden, you've got Jaeger, you've got Azami, you've got Mira, all these crazy fortified positions. This is already looking really good for the Americans.
Leon as well will be the first to go down, but not out off the back of Gomez. Your Hibana player is not a player that you want to be losing in this bottom floor site. Getting open some of those hatches is mission critical. Cry now making his way through Zulu is not able to connect the shots onto the Freaks says, and so far XSET go away unscathed.
Yeah, but Leon so low after getting revived there. He's the only hard breach this team has got. If you want to get those hatches open, if you want to try and dare the idea of using Hibana to clear the mirror windows, he needs to stay alive. And he's a hair's breadth from death at the moment. XSET have already started strong, though they do fall back to side.
We push through the mid rounds now as Rogue now have full control of this ground floor and can start getting to work on the hatches, getting these drones in the site, trying to figure out their next line of attack. This is where we see many teams fall apart in this mid round. This is where Rogue often fell apart on their bank game. Will they be able to convert them in this Oregon game? It's a different map, different playing field. I wonder how they attack it.
Rogue is the tip of the spear onto this freezer push. There's a mirror window inside of the closet of laundry facing to hold onto that laundry side. The other mirror window is facing into elbow in blue from inside of supply. So a strong setup from XSET. It looks like Rogue is going for this front push, but my question, how are they going to deal with these solid positions?
Only wonder as the time ticks down. Rogue seem to pivot over to the blue bunker hold instead, deciding that this front take with that mirror is going to be made very difficult. But like you said, another mirror dedicated to this side of the map as well is going to make it equally as difficult. Only 30 seconds left, Dev. The clock is ticking down. XSET look primed and ready for this execute.
It's a waiting game for XSET. Spirits decides to be the first one to make the encounter. Deepak goes down, trade immediately back. Kino, you can see he's keen to try and go for that play. He does find the pick. Goes and retakes blue now. Rogue just 2 players up. Leon evens up the man count, but he's got to get this diffuser down. He's low HP. Spoit to cover. The myth, the legend himself, shoots out the C4. Can't land the first shot, but there's another player to swing. And Yoga, he's there with the MPX to crush out the last players of Rogue.
Good grief, what an incredible shot that was from Spoit shooting that C4 out, but eventually the 2-on-1 gunfight coming from both of the XSET players swinging him at the same time was able to deny the plant and eventually win out that round. Rogue once again through that mid-round, leaving it just slightly too late to be able to take it away and win out the round. But like we said, like we prefaced, those mirror windows, gosh, they are so difficult to deal with on that bomb site, aren't they?
Absolutely is, but we often talk about how Oregon, you might have your laundry defense, but these other sites, they can be so fickle, they can be so challenging. Dorms is such a headache. I don't know, but let me have a look, all right? So over in NAL, supply and laundry, the one we just saw, 70% defensive win rate, 71 in BR6. In EUL, let's have a look, 67%. So again, like really, 68%, really defensive favored, right? As soon as you go to kids' dorms, that drops immediately in NAL by 15%. This bomb site here, I mean, in some reasons, like APAC South and in the Copa Elite, this bomb site, dorms, was actually attacker-sided. So you might have that mirror window for downstairs, but you don't have your smoke here upstairs. It's going to be so much more difficult without that Wamai as well. It's just going to be, I think, the challenge here starts for XSET.
Deepak already making his way straight into tower, looking for that added control, aided by the Amaru Gara hook. The rest of Rogue start to shape their way around the other side of the map, looking for some master side control, looking for armory. Actually, Cryan is going to double down his push with Deepak as well. Rogue looking for what seems to be a very east-centric take here. They're just going to sweep through, try and flood their way through Trophy and see what pixel they can find.
Spoit getting some info on site. Ooh, look at that. There's no player immediately. Oh, as I say that, there is a player who does shoot out the drone. You get some info here on the Kiba barrier. Wow, actually concusses and falls off, so Yoga really feels that bite. He does go back. So at least 4 Rogue. There's a long line of sight open up to apply a little bit more pressure.
This position here inside of Trophy is actually quite fortified for XSET. They've got the combination of the mute jammers, some ADSs, as well as those keeper barriers to create a fortress inside of this room if Rogue were to try and utility dump into it. Now we can see Dias. Oh, goodness gracious. Dias is the one that will be playing this position. It's quite precarious, and I feel like if he times these keeper barriers right, Rogue will be in a world of trouble.
I mean, XSET's doing so well so far. Like, even just little things like Kanto trying to clear out the Azami Syria gate with the Gemini from Yana, and XSET shoot it before it can clear it. I mean, immediately that just slows down Rogue.
And then Spoit as well, now at the top of Armory Stairs, is being blocked off by this Azami barricade. He can't make his way into Trophy just yet. And there's still 2 more in the pocket, for 1 more in the pocket for Diaz as well. Just time is slowing it down for Rogue. There's only so much that they can get control of. 1 minute left to go. The wall is still left closed, and they're only just starting to get control of Trophy.
Oh, Kino finds the opener. Deepak goes down. Kanto, though, he's got this hole opened by the defenders, and he does find a kill through. That's Spirits, one of the key anchors down and out. Spoit, though, he's the player top Armory Stairs, and he is so keen with this LMG. Bit of damage done on the Yogg, but Yogg is not scared away by that whatsoever. And now, suddenly, we're in a position where Rogue is falling apart. There's just 3 players left.
Kit is on the ground as well, the top of the Armory Stairs. XSET, they are very comfortable in the positions that they are currently holding onto. The wall is open, but what of it? Rogue try to make their way through, but will it work?
Can't even find that kill there, Spoit. Leon pushing up from the stairs, but Kino's just been a monster this round. Kanto to try and force down this plant. Leon is the one who's got to cover, and he's been taken out, so it's all over Red Rover for Kanto. 1v4 turns into a 1v3, but this is going to need to be an ace. And once upon a time, maybe we would have believed that the counter Raketti of old was capable, but I just don't think it's going to happen. There you go, XSET double down, 2 rounds straight.
Kino proving to us that he doesn't even need the SMG-11. He doesn't need no smoke to be that super anchor for the XSET team. After all, that Aruni DMR is lethal in the hands of a capable anchor, and Kino has proved to us exactly that on the top floor. That's just some beautiful micro-play from Rogue, holding on to Trophy for as long as they could, manipulating the architecture of the room with the Kiba barriers to protect themselves and to stop Rogue from getting control of it for what felt like hours, honestly. They were stuck outside of that master balcony on top of Armory stairs, and they just couldn't find a way, and eventually they had to flood. XSET, they take the round.
That's been a good start for them. Rogue, though, let's cast our minds back to their game bright and early this morning against Damwon Kia. Rogue lost 2 rounds in a row and then won 7 rounds in a row. So you don't want to count them out for 2 faltered rounds. We know what they're capable of. Now Deepek's gone with the Ossa as well. Is it still Medix observing? Because he's the one that was telling us it's Ossa, not Osa. And he is from Croatia, so I would believe him.
Oh, Medix.
It's not, it's easy.
Not, it's easy.
That's a shame. So how do we say it's, I mean, we got the Dutch operator as well for easy. So we got Yana. I assume we're saying that right. I never asked. Yeah, there you go. He said it's right.
We love our observers here on the cast, of course. Rogue, they're starting their attack out onto kitchen and dining. This is a pretty interesting site for XSET to be taking us to. In fact, actually Spoit getting his way straight into Big Tower, looking for a push going across. These days, we see kitchen and meeting go into fashion. We haven't seen a kitchen and dining in what feels like a little while.
And there's good reason for that, too. Like, if you're an attacking team that methodically takes control of dining, it's pretty hard to defend against that. Like, gone are the days of hiding inside of showers and really playing that util dump meta. It's just not quite as viable as it used to be. That said, we have seen it by some teams across various regions, and that's the great thing about this 6 major. But hold that thought for a minute. Here's Spoit. He's got info on the drone from his teammate. He's going to go for a wallbang, surely. He's worried about that Prisma, doesn't want to reveal his position. Patience demonstrated. He does shoot out that Prisma at the base, and it looks like his idea of going for a cheeky play is stilted for just a moment.
I like this approach from Rogue. What they're going for is they know that XSET have given up this side of the map, and they say, okay, let's take this real estate. We know it's given to us for free, and try and work off it. Of course, 2 XSET players still holding onto that top floor, aided by a mute jammer to prevent that wall being opened up for them. But Rogue are trying their best to make use of the space that has been given away. Leon as well on the Kids Repel will take down Gomez, and that is some of your top floor hold now taken apart.
Good progress here from Rogue. Crine, though, on for this lurk. The C4 goes out. Surely that Master Sound! Can he find the double? Crine! You gotta be kidding me, mate. That has shut down XSET. Any hope of making this dining defense work has been dashed.
Goodness gracious me, now XSET down in the man disadvantage. They haven't been in this position before. We've constantly praised this defense, but now Rogue, they seem to be on it. They have an approach that's going really well for them, but they're not getting overzealous about it. They still have a minute left. They know what Kino can do. Now making his way up the white stairs. Can he find anything?
Oh, Leon, you're caught out, mate. What are you doing? Kino's there for it, and XSET is saying we're not going to lie down and let this happen. Kanzo, though, from above, through the vert. Leaves Yoga all on his lonesome. You can take down Crine, but immediately for the trade is Spoit. And there you have it for Rogue, finally getting around on the board.
I really enjoyed that approach from Rogue. I think that they had an excellent read, some pre-placed drones to go into Attic, to go into that top floor. We saw Deepek able to get those entries in nice and smooth, knowing that Rogue had actually committed all their utility and all their resources to holding onto Small Tower. They didn't play into that at all. They said, okay, crisis aversion, let's not even push into the utility. Let's try something completely different. It forced XSET to have to flip around their setup, but they couldn't do it in time anyway. Gomez got taken down for it, and eventually Rogue, now they're on the board in this game.
Excellent start for XSET, though, and that can't be discounted. And as they go back downstairs to Laundry Supply, we'll remind you this is by far the most defensive bomb site globally across every every region on this map. Everyone loves going downstairs in the basement. And when the mirror's up, it's so tempting as well. Yeah. The smoke, the lack of smoke wasn't really felt, seemingly, on XSET's previous defense at this side. Rogue just didn't really have a way in. I mean, how are you meant to attack when those mirror windows are staring you at the face, especially when XSET did such a good job of delaying time on that roam?
Well, honestly, I think for Kino, he's so used to it. Every team has been banning out his smoke against him, and he's like, oh, well, it's gone. Well, you know what? I can play everything else as well. And like you said, those mirror windows have been very lethal. The last time that Rogue saw the mirror window, they didn't want to push it at all. They said, okay, let's not do this. There's utility here. Let's change up push. Is the play for Rogue to deal with the challenge head on or continue with that formula of averting going towards the utility? I feel like when there's so little time left, they had to go for it and they weren't able to.
Sport onto the entry. Oh my god, almost threaded that needle but didn't quite click in time. Here comes the repeat. Oh my god, Sport mate. You are lucky to get away with your life there. Gomez holding on to Kitchen. Is there support? Kanto's going to go and head out with the drone, but it looks like most of XSET have fallen back. Spirit's loitering in T1 of Tower for now, but surely he's going to fall back before long. Is Diaz actually...
Goodness.
Diaz is hiding in T2. That's interesting. Is Spirit's trying to bait for him?
I feel like this is not a bad play from XSET Rogue. They have taken the time through the mid-round historically. We saw them last time they tried to attack this. Spoik, though, he is being droned into tower. And if he manages to catch out two players here, but he won't, the double down, double trouble for XSET will take down the entry of Spoik.
And isn't that just phenomenal team play? You can see the way that Spirits on Jaeger was baiting out Rogue. It enabled Diaz to follow up and get that kill. Immediately XSET fall back to site. They know, look, we've got advantage here. Now worried about Valkyrie cameras. You can see Leon cautious. Yoga is on that operator. We don't quite know where all of those cams are. It'll give so much information to XSET for the late round of where these Rogue players are going to push and how many from each direction.
And once again, Rogue stagnated through this mid-round. Drones are being sent out into the side, but no decision has been made yet for them.
Like
Ryan,
this.
though, ooh, he's got something up his sleeve. A Twitch drone to try and take down these mirror windows.
Nah, not going to work there. Diaz cautious. Now we will have called out to the rest of his team. Guys, there is a Twitch. Now, does Crine have another Twitch drone? I'm not sure. You can see Leon's actually going to try and use the Hibana. Like, this is so desperate, isn't it? Rogue don't really have an adequate response to this mirror window. It's so difficult.
Well, I think those X-Kairos did actually go off. I think we heard them ring out in the background, but time is starting to dwindle down. Aquino is able to find one back onto Kanto as well, so the trades are going back and forth, but in the end, XSET come out on top.
Oh, Kino does lose his fight against Leon. Low HP, though, for 2 players on Rogue and 1 player on XSET. Means that, realistically, this could go either way.
LMG in hand for Deepak, though, and he's in a very dangerous, lethal position inside of Freezer, but doubling down on the E-Box hatch? What are you going for, Rogue?
2 lit players to drop a hatch? Surely Spirits to punish, but the flash is perfect. And Leon and Crine just slip through. Gomez, though, to mop up the rest with Spirits coming in from behind. And XSET, another faithful defense.
Rogue were almost able to convert that out. I thought that the combination of the silent, sneaky beak walking through inside of meeting, I didn't think that XSET were going to be ready for that. Those flashes came through and I thought, oh my goodness, this push is going completely untouched. They don't even know what's happening. But Gomez, in his position inside of Laundry, he is bang on it straight away. Both kills going down. Deepak wasn't able to make anything work through his freezer push. And in the end, the gunfights go in the way of XSET. Just so sharp with it. The game sense is just there.
Now it's time for Meepy to earn his salary. You can see on the right hand of your screen, he's very animated. He's got his notes out and he's giving Rogue a talking to. Rogue have called a tactical timeout, and that gives Meepy a chance to talk to the squad. What is the play from here? You're down. You're not out. You've won a round, but to be fair, it was only on a tertiary site. This is, I mean, it's been XSET's game so far, up 3-1. What's Meepy got to instill in the troops to rile them up?
I think this is a tough one for Rogue. They did take a gamble going to Oregon. We have seen historically, like we said, XSET, they're proficient on this map. Rogue, they have seen XSET Oregon before, so I can only imagine Meepy's going and going, guys, we've seen this before. We've seen the XSET Oregon. We just need to execute what we've spoken about, the plan, and not crumble under the pressure of being down 2 rounds. And I think Rogue, off the back of that timeout, they can get back into it. It's a big game for them. And
look, there's only 2 rounds left of the attack for Rogue, so in a way it's a bit of a gamble going for that tactical timeout, and for me the only way to split it is that Meepy and the rest of this Rogue roster know that they need to even up a 3-3 half here to have the advantage going in the second, because they won't have a tactical pause, and XSET will still have for their attacking side. Now the thing is, that laundry supply room, you can worry about the mirror and how frustrating that was, but you don't have to worry about that for the rest of this game unless we go overtime, because it's done. Like, XSET are locked out. Dorms, that is the question on our minds. And Rogue, they failed to attack it last time around. They've got to now attack it twice in a row to even up this half.
Well, the big story again, Kino. Not only has he put the mirror windows that have been so successful on the small Drake side, but he was the big heavy hitter on this bomb site as well, on that boost spot. Rogue have to come up with some other way of dealing with it, and now Cryan sneaking his way through the basement might be an answer to some of their problems. We saw him very proficient with those vertical nades last time the Nook was in his hands.
But will he be able to sneak around XSET? That's my question. He's got to walk past his camera in Freezer, as well as the hatch above him. Now, of course, doesn't have to worry too much about the camera. Oh, it's actually Kanto to find the opener. Spoit counting the players as they cross and manages to finally do enough damage to finish off Gomez. Man advantage squarely on Rogue's favor, and they might be able to do this.
And that was just such excellent flow on the side of Rogue. They knew that they had Cryan in the basement to put that pressure coming up the freezer stairs when they needed the right timing. Meanwhile, Spoit came in with the aid of some drones, Kanto with a nade to flush them out as well, directly into the line of sight on not one, but two Rogue players that had the opportunity to kill them. Now XSET, once again, down in this man advantage. Plenty of time for Rogue to figure it out, but this mid-round has been so deadly for them, and they have to convert.
Oh, wow. A blind nade, no info. But Rogue take Kino very low. Diaz low as well, meaning that Yoga's the only full health player, and he's the one going for a flank. Take a look at this. Spoit, see you later. And he's just going to retreat straight back to side. XSET know that they're desperate, and they're making plays. Leon taken down, finished off. Kino goes for a bit of a jog, and he's back in the site, ready to go 3-on-3.
And the danger in that is that now the kit is cold outside of that double window balcony. Rogue have to retrieve that with only 1 minute left to go. Still 2 plays to find, so it's not completely losable for Rogue. They are still in pole position to take this round, but they could easily capitulate it if they make the wrong decisions here.
A single bullet from any of these guns will be enough to take down Kino and Diaz. They've just got to land them. They've got to lock down these last players, refrag it out. Man advantage for Rogue's side, but Kino's been a menace. And he's just waiting for the player to turn the corner. It's Kanto on the other side. Is Kino going to be ready for it? Kanto on for the slow peek. He doesn't want to feed the 1v1, but all he's got to land is a single bullet, and it's straight between the eyes. Diaz is not enough. What a round from Kanto, and Rogue are back in it.
Rogue are absolutely back in it, hot in form off the back of that tactical timeout. They looked a lot more composed in that round. There was flow in that team. There was teamwork. They were all on the same page with the same goal, clearing through this map of Oregon. And that's a big difference between this round and the last couple rounds that we've seen Rogue attack this bomb site. There's no more disconnect. They're back in their flow and ready to go into this final attack.
Bit of a gamble here from XSET. They could have gone over and retried Dorms. They could have gone and retried Dining, which admittedly was kind of shocking for them, so I'm glad that they didn't. But instead, they go to a bomb site we haven't even seen a single time so far from XSET in this half, and that's Kitchen and Meeting. Now, this is globally the 3rd most preferred bomb site, well above Kitchen Dining in every region, but still, going here instead of back to Dorms, it feels like a gamble.
Well, the thing is, Steph, I actually don't mind this from XSET. What they've realized is that Rogue have taken time off to think about what the next plan is, and they're going, okay, well, we're going to throw your plans out the window, give you a curveball, a new problem to solve. Because when they give Rogue new problems to solve, Rogue have to go, okay, quick, break this trap, just real quick. We just want to figure out what we need to do. And that uncertainty that XSET are instilling in, I think it might work out for them. I don't mind this from them.
Yeah, I respect the play from XSET. And also, you have no choice but to respect the damage that Kino's been able to do as an anchor. Problem is, his preferred anchor operator for basement, where he did the most damage on that mirror, is just not viable on these other bomb sites. Even the Aruni has, in this case, been foregone for the Maestro, and he's actually, I mean, I cursed him. He's the first to go down, getting aggressive and say goodbye to any chance of using those Evil Eyes in the late round.
XSET have shaped up to hold onto this big tower control, but Rogue, they're not doing their usual MO and averting the crisis. They're facing it head on. Grenades are going in. Spoit the first to be the entry, and they're not going to let go of this pressure just yet.
Spirit's holding on to T3. Such a tough position to play. Hell in a cell. But he's got the perfect operator for it. He's got support from Gomez on the stairs. A C4 to go over. Takes Deepak very low. But Rogue, they've seen an opportunity. And Spoit He's the first one in the building, straight on into sight. Yoga, he's read it, but it's all going up for Rogue. Deepek's got the information. You can see the roles have been reversed. Kanto's in the site. Where's Leon? You got to get that diffuser in there. Plant in kitchen. XSET, are they going to be able to retake?
Uh-oh, where the attacks now, says XSET, as Rogue are now holding on to this site control with plenty of time in their hands. The bomb now going down for Leon, but this vertical, has he seen it? Spirits hasn't seen him. He has to make something new with the deagle, but it's not going to connect.
This is all gone down the drain for XSET. Rogue have managed to steal away the bomb site. And it's like you said, Rogue, they just love to avert the problem. And while they didn't at the start, they certainly got there in the end. Kanto has been on fire on the Yana here. He's just holding this hatch drop. A keeper barrier to go down, but that's not going to save Spirit's life. Oh my god, Kanto. A flawless round to round out the half. And Rogue, well and truly on the comeback.
I love the way that Rogue ended up approaching those last final few attack runs going into that half. They had a formula and they knew, okay, XSET, they give us room. We need to use it. And that's exactly what I imagine they must have been talking about in that tactical timeout, because every single round after that, they followed that formula. Okay, let's go in where XSET are not there. We'll put on the pressure for a little bit, make them think that we're attacking here, but we're going to sneak in Spoit to inside of kitchen, open up the round for them, because XSET have given it away, and they didn't realize. Capitalizing on those mistakes, that's a sign of a mature team.
And it feels like Rogue is the team that we always talk about for that. I don't know if I'm just missing something here, but it feels like that was the name of the game against Dalmon Kira as well. Like Rogue, yeah, sometimes they have a methodical plan, but as soon as it feels like it's just going to be it's a bit too difficult, we don't really want to go for that. It's like, all right, everyone go into hunting mode. If you can hunt a sneaky play, then we will all follow you to the grave or to victory. And more often than not, it's the latter for Rogue.
But now Rogue, they're going to go over onto this defending half, and they're playing a very different philosophy to what XSET have played. They're playing an extended roam, aided by the Mozzie, the Vigil, that once again, those Yokais to aid the road. Deepek has been so proficient on to enable these roamers to hold onto that map control and see the attackers before they even get to them.
This is the dirtiest spawn peak. This always gets me in ranked. So Krine is waiting. Is he waiting for some info? Often what people do is they wait like about 10 seconds, or 5 seconds even sometimes, and then shoot a little hole in the barricade, go for a spawn peak. But it looks like Krine has instead now fallen off. He knows the chance has been wasted. Very heavy roam for Rogue as Spoit starts to fall back as well. Before he does a bit of damage on the Spirit to the C4. Kanto says, oh, up the hatch with you. And, well, it's very much a fight off-site.
I'm such a big fan of this hold from Rogue. XSET, they don't even want to put their foot in the building yet. They're going, okay, we don't even know where it's safe. There's a Rogue player everywhere. They've rotated from the small tower side of the map to holding on to Master, to holding on to Lobby, where XSET are trying to enter in now. And every single step of the way that XSET are trying to get in, they're fighting a Rogue player. And that is just such a terrifying prospect.
And look at that refrag as well. Kino does well to punish Leon Gids, but not before Spoit is able to trade it on back. That's mostly a hard breach gone. And just look at this, Rogue. They love their roaming yokai drones, but Spoit is stuck between a rock and a hard place, stuck between a Canadian and a Brazilian, and they are hunting for his lives. They take him out, and that still leaves Kanto roaming. Rogue are just relentless.
Goodness, though, the dash to get him back into the freezer stairs. He doesn't want to give his life, but here we go, Deb. XSET are actually in the man advantage. Although that roam clear seemed messy, it seemed scrappy, XSET are still in it. They're still present in this round with a minute left to go. That's plenty of time to figure out what they want to do next, even without hard breach.
And you know a big diff here between Rogue and XSET's defenses is, yeah, all right, Rogue, now 3 players on site, but you don't have that mirror. You don't have as many strong anchor operators. You might have the Yokais, but realistically, Oregon isn't the kind of map where you're going to be able to play Plantanol in the late round. In my opinion, with the Yokais, I mean, he's too likely to get rushed, Deepek is. So we have to see these Rogue players keep putting this fight to XSET.
Well, they want to press the attack, but it's about when, Dev. It's about timing. If they simply run at XSET, they're going to be ready for it. They have to wait for the exact time where the comms are cluttered, where XSET don't totally know what they're doing to find the opportunity to get that hero play going.
But have a look at this, the late reinforcement over Freezer. It does give XSET Freezer for free, and actually here we go. A line of sight, but how does Kanto win that? What year is it? Is it 2019? Kanto's back in form. Look at him go.
And now Yoga trying to make some extra holes, pushing him out of his position, but Kanto is now long gone. A grenade to follow through, 13 seconds left. This is not looking good for XSET.
But low HP on a lot of these rogue players. Deepek's got to survive. Crime taken out. Gomez is all that XSET have left. He's made it a 1v1. There's no way he can get Deepek. Rogue, take the lead.
I just cannot believe this showing that we have got from Rogue. Every single player in this server, in this team, is constantly contributing to the mission. Don't you think so? Deepek, even though he's on the site, it feels like he's doing not much. He's babysitting it. And not only that, he's babysitting his roamers as well with those Yoko drones, feeding them intel, enabling them to be able to do things across the entire map. We saw the Rogue roam start out on small tower, shift all the way over to lobby, into Zulu. They were fighting them every single step of the way, and that's where XSET ended up losing out. There's just not enough time, not enough players.
Every fragger's dream is to have a drone in front of you and one of your teammates has just got perfect comms and they just call one here, and you're like, all right, dead, all right, dead, all right, dead. Imagine what it would be like to have Deepek on your team. This guy, I mean, every round, doesn't matter if it's attack or defense, he's droning you in.
Yeah.
You're roaming, he's got a yokai for you, no worries.
This synergy that Spoit and Deepek have is nothing to laugh at, and something that I think every single one of these teams should be taking very, very seriously going into this point of connection that brings the team together is just so incredible. And Spoit, what is he doing?
What? Spoit with a pistol spawn peek? Mate, this isn't one of your YouTube clips, all right? Like this is a major. Come on, chill out. I gotta say, if I'm any of Rogue's future opponents, I'm probably just gonna go through and just ban out the Echo. It's been enough, you know. Too many rounds have we seen Rogue, specifically Deepek, do some serious damage with that. And I'd rather just not face it at all.
XSET though, now they're shaping up their attack onto the top floor now. This is a site that is a little harder to roam on. You can't hold onto that bottom floor for as long as you can because it's very difficult to rotate back up. And Rogue, actually, they are going for this basement roam, but they're starting to recollect their players coming up the freezer stairs because they know the pressure is going to be on the site very soon.
Wow.
Yes, even taking down Leon straight in the side from the double window.
Yeah, very aggressive play from Leon, and unfortunately for him, a lot of his aggressive plays has been punished. We saw that last round. Rogue traded it though, and that's not the same in this case. Now XSET really focusing this site, and it's putting pressure on these roamers. All these anchors are like, guys, we're getting pressured on site. We need to go for a play. But Spoit, this is why he went for the pistol spawn peek. He's got the M870. He's running shotgun. And, well, Krine is seemingly in the driver's seat as he's found out Yogg. Gomez looking to hunt down that Oryx below, but it's not going to be easy because he's just going nuts. Mr. Muscles once again.
Goodness gracious, Rogue, they are keyed into this push that XSET are doing, except Gomez. Has anyone detected him coming up the white stairs?
He could walk in.
Any anchors now. He could just walk in straight in the site. You're right. No one knows he's here. Oh, now they do.
Yeah, there's a sinking feeling here, and, well, Krine's finally taken out. Spoit going to have to run pistol here, and, well, it's seemingly a bit of a mess for XSET. Gomez taken down low, leaving it just on Kino. 1v2, got to jump straight into a crossfire, no less. We've got Spoit with, oh my god, that could not be worse.
Ooh, he gets back out though. Oh my goodness, I can't believe that. That was smooth like butter. I can't believe he managed to get back out of that one, but caught in the crossfire on this double window. Gomez is down on the ground. It's winnable. There's 50 seconds. I don't want to count him out just yet. Oh, Rogue, don't give him this.
No, Deepek's not going to let that happen. Or it was actually Kanto, I think. Off for the final kill. And, well, Rogue have been living it up here at the Major. They're just one round off match point. And, well, we saw it's been a turnaround. Rogue have won, what, 4 rounds in a row, I think? So 3 rounds in a row since they took their tactical timeout. XSET getting a bit of inspiration by that. They're going to take a pause of their own.
And a big story here. We can see now that the scoreboard's going to be up for another 28 seconds, Kanto, wow, what an impact into this team.
That's unreal.
We did question him being on this roster. We were saying, he's old, he's washed up, he's veteran, you know, it's time to retire. But he's back here and he's like, nah, you can't take down the old guard just yet. He's had such an impact in the server, in this team. He's always where he needs to be, in the right place at the right time. He plays like Liquid. It's amazing.
There he is. Oh my god, what is Krine saying? I would love to just listen into these comms because, I mean, Rogue is so chill. They're just hanging out. And to go back to what you're saying about Kanto, I haven't seen him play this well in a damn long time. And, I mean, he's not just playing average or good average. He's playing phenomenal.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know the exact. I've got stats which I think are around or two behind right now. He was at one point 12-3 with 100% cost. What is that? 12-3. 14-3 now apparently. His EPS is 187, which is triple 2 players on the other team. And to bring this back into context, right? It's not like Kanto's been on form all of EUL. This stage, he's actually one of the lowest rated players that's attending the Berlin Major. And yet he comes here and he's like, nothing's ever happened. Kanto's back on land, I guess.
He shows up where you need it to be, where you need him to be, exactly what he does, his role. He just does his role perfectly. He's the solid ground that Rogue need to make sure that they're making solid progress in each round. It's such a great addition to this team. Now XSET, they're on the attack. They have to press some kind of push, bring it back, and just do this Rogue defense. It feels very dynamic at the moment inside of Kitchen and Meeting. It's going to be a tough problem for XSET to solve.
And I got to say, as we look back on how this game's gone so far, if you remember that XSET is the number 4 ranked team in the world, and Rogue is all the way down in 14th, it puts into perspective how great this has been for Rogue. XSET not quite living up to the hype.
Oh dear, those Spirits are starting to make his way through Small Tower. Rogue actually playing quite a similar hold to what XSET did when they were holding onto this top floor, pushing that pressure inside of the kids in the dorms, waiting for XSET to push the attack.
It's Meeting. I didn't even realize that.
Yes.
My bad, I guess. Spoit here might find a grenade in the face. Oh, Gon 6 takes his cover away. Good man advantage for Rogue, who've just been, like you said, like Liquid, they've just been so fluid on for these defenses. Moving around back and forth. Kanto feeling a lot of pressure here in pit. His cover now taken down thanks to the X-Karis on the hard breach. Goes for a spray. He's been so good in his shot. Just barely misses that one. As XSET finally start to retaliate, trying to stave off match point, and they do take down the Golden Boy. Gomez has had a fantastic entry, and now the NA team are in the advantage.
Rogue still holding on to the bomb site. Well, Yoga, with that sledgehammer, can start to make work through the mid-round, clearing out that vertical, making sure that Kitchen stays vacant for his teammates to be able to take on later. Spoiler's actually going to go down into the basement, looking for these verticals. Oh goodness, this is a way to challenge the vertical.
300 IQ, 3-floor angle there. This gun doesn't pack a punch, so ideally he would like to land a headshot. Decides to land an impact grenade, does about 2 points of damage to Yogg. But Leon's on for a flank. He's going to make sound when he drops, and Yogg hears it. Yogg peeks him. Leon wants to retrieve back, but Yogg is not going to let that happen.
And this is just so well played from XSET. They utilize that sledge to full potential, locking out the entire Kitchen site. Now Kino's getting the bomb down. Deepak is stuck at this rotate. He knows there's vertical on him. What can he do?
Yeah, C4 is too little too late. Does find Yogg, but 1v4 turned 1v3, and XSET, they're no chumps. They're going to play this perfectly. A flash over the top. Deepak waiting for someone to peek him, but it's an easy lockout for the guys repping the set. And they're not going to let us go to match point just yet. Only 1 round trailing.
That was a pretty clean attack as well from XSET through from the early round. An excellent entry from Gomez. It was in tandem with all the flashbangs, the utility that went through. It's a very similar hold to what they did upstairs. So of course, they know how to clear it. They know how to deal with it, the weak points in that setup. And what they realized was when they opened up that lower attic wall, it trapped Kanto in that position. And then they went, okay, we're going to fly a utility in, fly our entry in, and there we go. That's a perfect way to get top floor control. Rogue will now take us down to the basement, however, which has historically been very defender-sided. It could put them on match point.
Yeah, it could well put them on match point. But it may well live and die on this roam game. Because unlike XSET, Rogue, they're not opting for this mirror. They have a completely different philosophy, ideology for this bomb site. And it's funny because Rogue really struggled to attack that anchor-centric bomb site that XSET played so well. And Rogue here, polar opposites. Like we've said time and time again, like Liquid, just fluid around the map. I mean, how many roamers are you going to have? You've got your Mozzie, your Vigil, your Oryx. They're going to be all over the map all at once. And on top of that, you've got information from the Valkyrie.
A small difference between there is that there's no more Echo. This is Valkyrie, so Deepak, he wants to have his gun up a little bit more often. He wants to be a little bit more mobile, he thinks, but still aiding his team. And honestly, this rogue hold that they did, this extended roam across the entire total map control, worked out really well in their favor last time. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
It's true, but there's two things on my mind, right? Firstly, XSET have been so good at droning out these Valk camps. They did it on that meeting round just gone, and it ended up starving Rogue for info. You had these playmaking from Rogue that just got punished, like Leon, for example, no trades. The other half of that, XSET's starting to read into this roam game. You got the line, you got the Jackal. These are all the tools that they need to punish this fluid playstyle.
This is true. I hadn't even noticed the repeats. I'm glad that you pointed that out. XSET, they have a much better read onto this round, being enabled by the drones, being enabled by the Jackal. The pinch is starting to come through the top floor, but Spoit is actually the first to open up this round.
And Kanto is hidden here. Is there any clue from the attacking player? Is that Yoga? Is that Spirits? I can't quite tell from here. Kanto does reveal his position. He goes for a spray through the wall. Yoga's life is taken away. A 5v3 and Rogue are looking poised to take match point.
Kanto as well is not ready to give up that top floor control. He's wary of any attackers that might be cutting him off. He's just going to hold onto it. XSET now is saying, okay, let's just not deal with these roamers. We'll make the flank watch work for us. Let's hit the site, put the pressure on them to come to us instead of trying to clear them out. I don't mind that from XSET. Will it work out in their favor? Will they be able to get the timings, the gunfights? It's up to them.
Bomb located by
Spirits made his way all the way up through Freezer. Position revealed. What a shot there, but immediately punished. And the roars of Rogue can be heard throughout the theater here as they find themselves on match point.
And once again, what a beautiful total map control from Rogue, pressing the attack at every single point of the way. Even when XSET said, let's not deal with this, let's go a roundabout way of dealing with this, waiting for them to come to us instead, they weren't able to win out the gunfights on the site because they had brought so many of their defenders back, holding those anchor positions and getting ready for the XSET attack in case it ever came. That is what Deepak is to this team, don't you think? So Deepak is that anchor that's going to look after the site and say, don't worry boys, go off and do your thing. There aren't going to be any attackers inside this bomb site.
And now it's a head-scratching moment for XSET. They're playing against such a good roster. Like Rogue, in what we've seen today, you got to assume that they're going to make it playoffs, right? They're probably going to make a deep run at playoffs. This is the best Rogue, I'd hazard it, I guess, that we have ever seen. They are looking so in sync. They know exactly how they want to play the game. And even if they don't have the most crazy strats or whatever, like they are playing a fluid game of C. Just like they're not using the mirror because that's not their philosophy. That's not the way they want to play. They know that their strength is their chemistry. And that is their biggest tool in their arsenal. They take that into every single round. And on the flip side of that, you got XSET. 2 rounds needed to now push overtime. And, I mean, XSET expectation is for them to make playoffs. They can't afford to be losing any points here, let alone coming away with nothing in a regulation loss.
And this is just such a beautiful story for Kanto as well, right? All of the old guard, all of y'all super old Siege viewers back in the Twitch chat, I know you're all like, Kanto, my boy. We've watched him in his glory days, and he's back. He's back, baby, and ready and riling. Ryan looking for the spawn beak onto Spirits. I cannot believe he managed to land that one. XSET, what a way to rub salt into the wound.
Yeah, I mean, look at him. He's hungry for more. Just still peeking. Absolute Giga Chad. Rogue is seemingly unstoppable. And look at the expressions on these XSET faces. They're so engaged, but also, admittedly, there's got to be a lot of nerves, a lot of anxiety. These mute jammers, so frustrating now. We just want to drone up the site, but we can't even do that.
A shield hold going inside of Master. They don't even know if it plays behind it. Okay, Drone has actually managed to slip through now. They know that Master and Trophy are clear, but there are big aggressive holes contesting them from inside of Attic. An added perceived pressure in this top floor that Gomez will have to watch out for.
At this point, XSET have just got to send it, right? Gomez has got to see the opportunity and take it with both hands because there are players from Rogue off site right now. And if XSET decide that they send it, it's going to nullify the impact of players like Crime. But the longer they wait, the more this is going to favor Rogue, the more that this is going to look like a 3-point win for the Europeans.
Well, Rogue are starting to get a little bit keyed into this bush. We can see Deepak on this long line of sight holding onto the top of Armory Stairs. We just saw Leon create an extra rotate for him to get inside bunks and face the other side of the push because they're now realizing what XSET are trying to go for.
Diaz revealing his position, an unusual angle. XSET, you see the temptation from them to push in, but they know they're not in an advantage. And now Kino's been taken out at the breach by Leon, who finds that long angle, that aggressive peek. It's all over. It's got to be. It's a 2v5. Make that a 1 versus 5. Rogue have been demonstrating excellence and restraint. A flawless round from Kanto. The champion himself leads Rogue to their second regulation victory.
Kanto, the MVP of this game for sure. Plenty of kills under his belt. A resurgence for the old guard coming into Rogue, finding his place in this roster and finding his place in this tournament. This is such an incredible showing from Rogue.
What a phenomenal showing for the boys. They look ecstatic. They look chill. And Kanto, just look at Spoit riling him up. I bet you what he's saying right now is, mate, you are nuts. Everyone's hyping up Spoit.
You are the best. That's what he's saying.
Don't forget about Kanto. You pick up a fin, you're going to win. That's how it works around here. But, of course, we are going to break down that game in more detail in just a moment, so don't go anywhere. What a game. What a match. And what a showing from Rogue. What a performance from Kanto. I feel like we would be calling Spoit the golden boy usually, but Kanto, the prodigal son, he has returned 16-4. He's just unreal.
That is incredible. A 91% cost as well. He was there, so present in the server. So was the rest of Rogue. It never felt like a one-man show as much as we are hyping up Kanto. There was so much backing for him. There's so much support, enabling a workflow through this team that has been unmatched so far in their entire group. So
well played from Rogue. And look, commiserations to XSET. It felt like they had a lot going for them. Their basement defenses in particular were very formidable. Rogue never managed to break that. But Rogue proving to be such a strong chemical team. They're all synchronized. But let's have a look at how that puts the context of our groups here. We've played it. Bloody lot of matches so far here in the major, and Rogue standing tall, undefeated within their group. They're all done for today. They can knock off, but they have a 2-0-0-0 record, 2 regulation wins, plus 8 round difference. They're standing tall, and they're looking so good for the rest of this group.
XSET, they have one more chance to try and come back into the scoreline with their next matchup against NIP. So they will have one more chance to creep their way in. Meanwhile, NIP, they also look pretty strong as well and will try and match the position that Rogue are currently in.
Yeah, and the elephant in the room, of course, is down at the bottom of the standings, Dam1. Shocking right now. They'll have to redeem themselves tomorrow and on Playday 3 because they are done for the day and they'll be reflecting upon that. But let's have a look at the next group as well. If you've been following the action on the B stream, you might have seen a lot of these games going down. But of course, it's been a bit lackluster from Sandbox. We saw them start their game against G2 and there just wasn't much there.
Absolutely not. They started to mount a comeback, but by then G2 was so in the server, they were so ready that they were eventually able to close out that matchup nice and easy. And of course, FaZe on top, it's what we've expected from right at the beginning of the day, and they are showing it to us.
Former major champions in FaZe, looking forward to seeing if they can perhaps make a return to playoffs. Sonic's yet to play a game, but stick around on Group B, Stream B and you'll see that. But here we go. If you've been watching some of these games on Stream A, we saw Wolves and Gladiators play. We've also seen Oxygen, unfortunately, lose out their match in regulation. To me, I'm going to admit, the exciting one was seeing Gladiators push overtime against Wolves.
Absolutely. All you at home, I'm just going to throw us under the bus here. We were sitting inside of our green room watching this Wolves and Gladiators game, and we were screaming at the Gladiators, oh my gosh, we can't believe what they're managing to pull off against Wolves. They didn't win it out in the end. The Wolves, so formidable, but wow, I don't think anyone expected this to be the standing at this point in the day.
Totally. I mean, even an overtime loss is a dub in the Gladiators book, but let's have a look at the final group to round it out. If you've been watching the B stream, you would have seen these teams go head-to-head, and oh my god, speaking about things that get us excited, hashtag not biased, Elevate, let's go, boys. APAC South repping it out with the 2-0, full 6 points. They're up there with teams like Rogue, looking flawless today.
Absolutely. It just seems like a day of absolute shockers, don't you think? So everything that we predicted in the start of the day, bar FaZe and Wolves doing quite well, has gone completely off the rails. The script has been completely flipped around, and Elevate and Furia are the ones currently on top. Funnily
enough, Astralis sitting at the bottom of Group D. They are actually the current highest ranked team globally that's playing at this event. The number one SI ranked team right now is Dark Zero, who won the previous major. Number two was Astralis, who's the runner-ups. Of course, DZ not being here means that Astralis are actually the first team that could lock in 6 Invitational, but they have to make top 4 at this event. And so far, losing to Elevate in such a dominant fashion, it's not looking great for them. So there really is a lot left still to go. We've not even finished Playday 1. We've got 3 Playdays before we even eliminate half these teams. Any takeaways from any of the groups? What's your number one highlight?
I mean, my number one highlight has got to be Elevate making it
hashtag
through.
Not biased.
APAC South, wow, they've just made such a push on this first day. Wolves, of course, they showed us why they're here. It's been incredible. FaZe, they took a very close theme park game against Sandbox, and just every single game today has been absolute bangers. I don't think I can just pick one.
Well, I can pick one that's going to be my best game of the day. It is XSET versus NIP, and it's coming up in just a moment.